Rico Superbird, a symbol of strength, empathy, and intelligence. Feel that power awaken within you. In the storm, Rico the African gray finds a cockatiel in the mud, and a new bond begins. Trapped, helpless, at the mercy of a predator. Is this the end of his story? Or only the beginning of something far more dangerous? In the heart of the jungle, every day is a fight for survival, but now his fate hangs by a single thread. Will rescue come before it is too late? Will the cockatiels rescue the African gray from the orb weaver's web? The African gray is free, all thanks to the brave cockatiels, and to you. What happened in our story is rare and beautiful. A moment where different creatures come together in danger. And it reminds us humans to believe that kindness and help can cross any boundary, if only we choose them with courage. But from the rocky cliffs, the hawk watches in silence, its sharp eyes fixed on the cockatiels. Suddenly, two hawks swoop down with terrifying speed. In an instant, they snatch away the cockatiel parents, disappearing into the sky with their prey. Rico had to choose: protect the chicks or save the parents. Will it survive? Subscribe and keep watching our series. Difficult choice. Its sharp eyes fixed on the cockatiels. Suddenly, two hawks swoop down with terrifying speed. In an instant, they snatch away the cockatiel parents, disappearing into the sky with their prey. Stay with the helpless chicks who needed him most, or chase after the hawks to rescue his parents. In his heart, fear and hope were fighting each other. Yet he decided to fly. He spread his wings and darted into the forest, leaving the chicks behind, believing his return would bring salvation to the whole family. Rico hurled himself against the hawks, striking with desperate courage. Against all odds, the tiny cockatiel fought the predators until, at last, their grip was broken. His parents burst free, their wings trembling but alive. But when they reached the nest, their hearts froze. The branches were torn, the feathers scattered. The nest was empty. The chicks were attacked by a vulture, and in terror, they fell from the nest. But the blue cat was waiting, ready to strike. Then the silverback gorilla appeared, stepped in, and rescued them. But the female gorilla was not pleased. She grew jealous, feeling the attention was taken away from her and their own baby. The helpless chick fell from the great height, and when it struck the ground, its fragile life was lost. gorillas began to weep, reaching out and holding hands. One by one, every creature drew closer, united in grief. And in the end, it was the sacrifice of the little one that brought them all together. Jealousy can be louder than we imagine. In the rainforest, one cry born from envy cost a tiny chick its life. Not out of hatred, but from the pain of losing attention. And humans are no different. When jealousy speaks for us, we end up hurting those we never meant to harm. True strength of the heart is not in shouting, but in celebrating the good in others, without fearing that it steals the light meant for us. Out of the blue, the leopard appeared, and in an instant it snatched the last chick. An African gray searches endlessly with the cockatiel parents of the lost chicks. When the leopard saw the African gray, fear struck his heart. He dropped the chick in shock. For a moment, the leopard froze, seeing the bright red tail blazing like fire, then fled into the depths of the forest. Glory to Rico, the brave African gray. But danger was near. Army ants had sensed a helpless victim. Yet hope was not lost. Another chick, the one everyone thought was gone, was still alive. His name was Poacher, the little fighter. But danger was near. Army ants had sensed a helpless victim. Yet hope was not lost. Another chick, the one everyone thought was gone, was still alive. His name was Poacher, the little fighter. With trembling wings, he tried once more. And this time, he flew. Through the heart of the rainforest, Poacher soared, feeling the wind beneath his wings for the very first time. But deep in the forest, a man driven by greed set his traps, thinking only of himself. In a single careless moment, Rico was caught. The wire tightened, and he hung upside down, trapped. A mighty silverback gorilla approached, moved by the sight of the suffering bird. With gentle strength, he reached out and freed Rico from the trap. Then, with care and kindness, he lifted the tired African gray onto his shoulder and carried him through the rainforest. In that moment, two worlds walked as one. This time the gorilla mother was not jealous. She had learned that true strength comes with respect, and that kindness can cross every boundary. The baby gorilla, a quiet jealousy growing in its heart, while walking away, fell into a mud hole. It tried to climb out, clinging to roots and soil, but the earth kept slipping away. The little gorilla walked away because she felt her place in the family growing smaller. Her jealousy wasn't anger. It was a silent plea for someone to notice her. But when no one saw her quiet sadness, she stepped into loneliness and fell where no child should ever be alone. This moment teaches us that we must never care for some while forgetting others. Children especially need equal warmth because their hearts don't understand divisions. They only understand what they feel. And sometimes, one unnoticed little soul can wander too far. Rico was always alert. When he heard the desperate cry of the young gorilla, he rushed to help without a moment's doubt. With hope in his heart, he dropped the branches, believing they would become a bridge for the little one to climb out of the muddy trap. At last, it reached the branch, breathing fast, but free. The little gorilla ran into his mother's arms. From the forest came gentle sounds, a cheer for Rico, the brave one. But our unforgettable boxer, the cockatiel who felt stronger in mind than in wings, kept flying and flying, losing her way until she reached the open sea, and her strength began to fade. Will it survive? Subscribe and keep watching our series. Rambo flew over the open sea, sinking. Beneath the surface of the sea, Rambo fought for life, wings heavy, light fading above, until a dolphin appeared from the deep, circling beneath her. The dolphin couldn't bear to see the tiny yellow creature suffer. Gently, he lifted the little cockatiel on his nose above the waves, and a new friendship was born. Together, they played, laughing, leaping with joy, celebrating life itself. As they played, the warm breeze dried Rambo's feathers. Strength returned to her wings. Rambo Boxer was falling over the open ocean, exhausted, alone, and convinced he couldn't go on. Yet he refused to let go of hope. And in that very moment, when everything seemed impossible, a dolphin rose from the deep and lifted him to safety. This story teaches us that we must never give up, because even when no rescue is in sight, life can bring help in the most unexpected way. Tourists walk through the rainforest. Carelessly, one of them throws a glass bottle. Sunlight breaks through the canopy, hits the glass. Moments later, dry leaves catch fire. The wind feeds the flames. Fire races deeper into the forest, devouring dry leaves and branches. Baby gorilla becomes separated from the group. Fire surrounds her on all sides, cutting off every escape. She stands, terrified, trapped within a circle of flames, cutting off every escape. She stands, terrified, trapped within a circle of flames. But Rico is always ready. The extraordinary African gray, blessed with remarkable intelligence, rushed to help. This time, he used a vine. The baby gorilla grabbed it tightly and climbed above the flames. They soared away together, far from danger. Their eyes meet, together again. The baby gorilla didn't know the fire came from human carelessness. She only felt fear and loneliness. And we humans do the same. Sometimes we place others in flames without meaning to, through a single, careless moment. But this story also reminds us of hope, that no matter how dark the moment, there is always someone who can throw us a lifeline. Hope survives as long as even one heart chooses to notice another's need. Even the fiercest fire can be stopped when someone decides to act with kindness. A river flows, calm yet strong, but its course has shifted, spreading between the rocks and forming a small island in the middle. There, stranded and unable to cross, a tapir stands, gazing anxiously toward the shore. Rico, the most intelligent bird in the world, decided to use his mind this time. Watching the trap taper, he searched for a way to build a bridge. Quickly, he pecked small holes into the decayed trunk, helping the termites finish their work. Moments later, the tree collapsed into the river, forming a natural bridge for the rescued animal. The taper carefully steps onto the fallen tree, crossing to the other side. The taper bows his head in gratitude, and in the quiet between them, a wordless understanding remains. The wind suddenly grows stronger, and an egg filled with life flies free. Will it survive? Rico catches the falling egg gently in his claws. Claws not made for hunting, but for saving. The African gray is no predator. He is the guardian of souls in the rainforest. But the mother of the egg, the macaw, was caught in invisible nylon traps. The kind poachers use to capture wild birds and sell them for less. They never see the truth. Rico Superbird leans over the nearly invisible nylon poacher's net, clamping his beak onto the transparent strands. He pulls with all his strength as the trapped macaw trembles, the tight cords cutting into its feathers. Beside them, Rambo Boxer guards the newly hatched chick, shielding it from every threat. Rico keeps fighting. One strand snaps, then another, until the final fiber gives way. The macaw spreads its wings, free at last. When the egg fell from the nest, there was no time to ask whose it was or where it came from. All that mattered was that it needed saving. And that is the heart of this story. True kindness doesn't choose who deserves help. Sometimes life drops something into our hands that isn't ours, yet we are the only ones who can rescue it. That is where real responsibility begins. Rico saved the egg, Rambo protected it, and the macaw regained hope. Just like in human life, one heart that chooses to help can stop someone's fall before it becomes a tragedy. But after nightfall, the calm was broken. A storm rose from the horizon. Thunder, wind, and fear tearing through the rainforest once more. And somewhere in the darkness, someone was in trouble again. The storm rips a giant tree from its roots. The baby blue cat hangs on, trapped in terror. But Rico is always alert. Rico dives through the roaring wind, cutting through the rain. There's no time to think, only to save. The golden retriever puppy sinks deeper into the thick mud. Every move drags him lower, the swamp pulling him down like a living thing. His cries fade into the storm as the rainforest holds its breath. The python waits, silent, patient, eyes fixed on the struggling puppy. The golden retriever whimpers, unaware that danger is closing in from below. But Rico, the superbird, the most intelligent parrot in the world, already knows the answer. From above, his sharp eyes see what others cannot. He turns against the wind, ready to act. His efforts always find a way. The branch dropped by Rico became the lifeline. The golden puppy climbed out, saved once again by the wisdom of the Superbird. And so, new bonds are born between beings from different worlds, united by instinct, courage, and something greater than fear. Perhaps it is love, the kind that speaks without words, where every life matters. Night falls again over the rainforest. The rufous owl, Ninox rufa, watches from the shadows, her eyes locked on innocent prey, the baby budgies sleeping in their nest. Will they survive the night or the owl's silent strike? Rico Superbird, the African gray, watches like a guardian. He rushes to help, spreads his wings, strikes, fights the owl. Not a predator. When he hears a cry, he moves, like a flash of light in the darkness. Rico could barely see. The owl saw everything. Yet it was Rico who leapt into the darkness to save the sleeping budgies, with no advantage on his side. This story teaches us that even when we cannot see the path, when conditions are against us, when others are stronger or better equipped, we can still choose to do good. Because sometimes courage matters more than sight. Black Cocker Spaniel runs through the forest. Suddenly, the ground collapses. He falls into the mud. He struggles, barking, helpless. And the jungle stays silent. But Rico Superbird hears the cry. He soars through the night, cutting the air with purpose. From above, he breaks the branches one by one. They fall into the muddy pit below. Not by chance, but by care. And somewhere in the dark, hope begins to breathe again. The Black Cocker Spaniel stands free at last. He looks up at Rico, the Superbird, with eyes full of gratitude and wonder. Two friends, bound by courage. A stubborn girl strays from her parents. She slips, her leg trapped between the rocks. She cries helplessly. But Rico Superbird always watches. Will he save her in time? Rico Superbird, a symbol of strength, empathy, and intelligence. Feel that power awaken within you. In the rocky rainforest, a group of carefree tourists ventures further than they should. Amid distraction, no one notices how dense the forest becomes, until suddenly, the child is gone. Confusion turns to fear, and the search begins. A stubborn girl strays from her parents. She slips, her leg trapped between the rocks. She cries helplessly. But Rico Superbird always watches. Between towering rocks, Rico Superbird cuts across the sky. One call, clear, echoing through stone. He turns toward the light. It's a warning. Humans enter with ease, forgetting that every step leaves a mark. Nature does not need us. It is we who need her. In the damp rainforest soil, a yellow-footed tortoise moves slowly with her young. The forest hums, but she feels the change. A silence between sounds. Instinct warns her. Danger is near. She turns toward the great fig tree, urging her hatchlings to the safety beneath its roots. The mud trembles. The caiman strikes. But before the jaws can close, a shadow cuts across the light. Rico Superbird dives from above, wings wide, fearless. His call pierces the chaos, a warning, a challenge. The hunter hesitates. The forest holds its breath. The danger fades. The river falls silent once more. Rico Superbird has done what many would never dare. He faced his fear. The turtle family finds safety, and life flows again. Sometimes what we call impossible exists only within the borders of our fear. For those who rise above it, discover who they truly are, and that it's possible to do something truly great for others, without looking selfishly in the mirror, but with a heart turned toward life. A baby toucan struggles in the thorns, wings trembling in fear. Above, the harpy eagle dives, cutting through the air with deadly grace. Shadows collide. Hearts stop. Is there anyone who could save the little toucan now? A baby toucan is already stuck. Above the leaves, a harpy eagle appears, locked onto the tiny bird, ready to strike. But Rico is always alert. Without hesitation, he rushed to help the defenseless victim. Harpy eagle appears from above, aiming straight at him. Rico dives like a bullet and slams the harpy eagle in the head, knocking it off its attack path. The harpy snaps back with rage, talons out. She swings a massive wing like a hammer. Rico twists mid-air and strikes her wing hard, leaves exploding around them. Moments later, she pulls away and retreats. The baby toucan shows gratitude to Rico for freeing him from both the vines and the predator. And now, he flies away, happy and free. The freed toucan reminds us that every heart can be caught in unseen vines. And sometimes, one caring soul is enough to lift another back into the light. But deep in the poacher's hut, a beautiful female African gray now sits trapped in a golden cage, waiting for someone to notice her silent plea. Rico couldn't ignore her desperate call for help, and the moment he heard it, he knew he had to fly to her rescue. And there are people whose greed blinds them, trapping these beautiful birds for profit, never seeing how their hands steal life from the heart of the rainforest. Recraft's methods never failed, and Rico's rescue earned her deep admiration. And something tender blossomed between them, a quiet, new love beginning to grow. In the rainforest, love is proven not in words, but in the courage to fly toward someone when danger rises. And perhaps we humans are no different, for every heart longs for a soul brave enough to notice its fear, stand beside it in the storm, and choose to protect it, even when it would be easier to look away. But a new danger is already on its way. A maned wolf appears, instantly locking his eyes on the young capybara, a gentle, harmless creature, now exposed to danger. The capybara tries to hide in a hole, but slips straight into it, and what looked like shelter turns out to be a trap, bringing yet another danger. But Rico sees everything, and he's ready to make the predator rethink its decision. He first tries to block the attack, using pure instinct to confront and challenge the predator. In the end, he reaches the predator without fighting, and the power of persuasion wins over instinct. Thanks to his powerful persuasion, the predator finally backs off. The capybara shows its gratitude, looking at Rico with a gentle, almost loving warmth. In the rainforest, even the gentle capybara can fall into sudden traps. And we humans are much the same, sometimes dropping into fear and loneliness without warning. Help doesn't come from strength, but from a heart that notices and approaches with peace. When we choose empathy over judgment, even the wildest wolf in someone can step back, and gratitude becomes a quiet bridge between souls. The young brocket deer is caught in the thick jungle vines, unable to free itself. And then, a jaguar steps out from the shadows, bringing a new and deadly threat. Which power will Rico use this time?